Good afternoon everybody, welcome to Adelaide Zoo and our fantastic Quokka family. Now I'm sure many of you have met these beautiful little Aussie battlers before. They are great ambassadors for our Australian marsupials. On my lap here we have Kinta. She's 10 years old. Traditionally in the wild they might live up to about 10, but Kinta here, with all of the love and support that she receives from all of you guys and her big family here at the zoo, will definitely outlive that. So don't worry, she'll be here for many years for you to come and see her. On my left here we have Poppy, and here we have a little activity that you can make for your pets at home while you've got some spare time. It's called a bottle spinner, and for the cost of 3 recyclable bottles, so 10 cents each, you can make little activities for your pets to interact. Because out in Mother Nature, food doesn't come for free. Animals are searching and seeking their food all the time. Now these beautiful animals, as we said, are called quokkas, and of course they're found over on Rottnest Island in Western Australia. They are found on another island and a bit of a scattered distribution throughout the lower end of WA as well. But sadly they are today classed as a threatened species. That's why with all your support here at Adelaide Zoo, we're happy to contribute to their breeding program to ensure we have a great, secure population here in captivity. Now we're looking to engage you guys at home and see what other questions you have. So looking if there are any other questions coming through, and we'll keep an eye on that while we go. You might know that these little animals, when they start their life, are only the size of a jelly bean. They're so small that they live in their mother's pouch, which of course means they're a marsupial. They are in the group called macropods, which is a word for big foot. Now at home, can you think of any other Australian animals that have a big foot and are a marsupial, but definitely keep their joeys in their pouch as well? These little animals aren't marsupials that you'll find in your Adelaide gardens, but if you were to put up nesting boxes, plant Australian plants, put out a little pond or some water bowls, even doing great responsible pet ownership activities like keeping your pets entertained at home, keeping your gorgeous cat inside at night so she's nice and safe, can help to ensure wildlife populations across our country. This might mean that you might share your own backyard with a marsupial, maybe a koala, maybe a ringtail possum, a brushtail or pygmy possum. If you're lucky enough, you may even have the threatened southern brown bandicoot still living in your Adelaide regions. Keep those questions coming on through. If you do have any throughout this whole period, we'd love to engage you at home and ask you about them. In fact, my friend Erin, one of our keepers, has a question right now.
Chrissy wants to know how many babies can they have at once?
Well, this is really interesting. These quokkas inhibit something called embryonic diapause, which means in times of drought, it means that they can actually suspend and not give birth to their baby. How would this work for mum? Let's say mum didn't have a lot of food at home for her baby. Well, she might say, I'm not going to let it grow in my belly anymore until there is lots of food and then we can give birth. An awesome animal adaptation to help these animals survive in the wild. Generally speaking, however, they will only have one joey in the pouch at a time, with 2 breeding seasons in Australia. The sad thing is for a baby quokka, if mum and dad are being chased by a big predator like a dingo or another carnivore, they can actually even leave that little baby behind, which gives them a chance to escape. That night they can give birth with that embryonic diapause and continue the succession of their family. Great question.
Eliana is 5 years old and she wants to know how long do they sleep for?
Well, like I'm sure many of us wish we were doing at home right now, but with your children I'm sure you're not. A lot of Australia's marsupials spend a lot of time sleeping. These animals probably spend about 50% of their lifetime sleeping, compared to koalas that might even sleep up to 19 hours a day. What's the difference? Well, for a koala, they only get about 10% energy out of the eucalyptus leaves, whereas quokkas are omnivores. Mainly herbivores, eating plants, grasses, roots, but as you can see they also eat lots of different vegetables, and in the wild they may even be a little bit insectivorous or carnivorous if they found a little meaty or insect treat that they may love to eat as well. Good question. So here we have Poppy. When you come in, this is your challenge to identify them. Poppy has a bit of a purple with an orange ear tag just inside. Manuka here, like the beautiful honey, has a yellow tag. Then we have Layla just here with, Lara with her little orange tag. Next to her is Layla with a light blue-pink tag, or a light blue tag. Now, you just heard a sneak preview of the word pink. We have one last one who is called Pink. Appropriately enough, she's eating a beautiful pinkish coloured grevillea plant, but she doesn't have an ear tag. So if you've nullified all the other ones, have a look around for the one missing an ear tag, and that's Pink. Good question.
Donna wants to know if we've noticed a difference in their behaviour since visitors aren't allowed in.
Look, just coming in just now, they were quite active and moving around. So they're definitely looking for their food treats that they would normally get from all of you, their favourite friends. That's why it is really important here at Adelaide Zoo that we spend a lot of time while we're not here entertaining you guys and working with you guys, building toys like this bottle spinner, giving them lots of different enrichment activities like the little pine cone that we have down here where we can stuff food in. This ensures that they're still having to search and forage for their food, just like they would when they're looking for you guys as well. It keeps them fit, but also helps to stimulate them as well.
We've got another one here. Are quokkas territorial?
They can be territorial, which is a great question, and it's why we also have our breeding males just outside in a different yard. These animals are classed as stud book recommended as a threatened species. We really need to look at their family genetic lines before we put them together. Now that is one side of it, but it's not really answering the question about their territory size. Unfortunately, because they are living in that island population, a lot of their territory is inhibited to small patches of good remnant vegetation. So that's where we can all make a difference for marsupials throughout our landscape. Planting plants in our local backyards can help reconnect the dots of fragmented habitat. These guys here would have once had a much more widespread distribution, but being more island populations now, they're pretty well spread over those island habitats as well.
How old are our quokkas?
Well, again, we do have Kinta here who is 10. Traditionally, in the wild, that would be the end of their lifespan, but again, with all the love and support that they receive from you, she'll live a lot longer. So our quokkas here range from about 5 years old through to 10 years old. Probably our youngest being Poppy, which is a little girl just down here by my foot. She's probably about, I'd say 6 years old now. Oh, actually, no, let me change that. I'd say she'd be about 8 years old by now. Yeah.
Adeline wants to know, do quokkas dig holes and do they dig for anything?
That's a fantastic question. All of the macropods will dig a shallow bed in the Australian soil. Do it at home. Just do a little scraping. You feel how much cooler the soil is there. It helps to cool them down and also aids in their evaporation of moisture. Another thing they do to cool themselves down, and you can try this at home as well, is they lick the back of their hand. Make sure your hands are clean. Maybe don't lick the back of your hand. Maybe try it in a few months' time. But they lick their hand and they wave it around. This helps to cool down the blood capillaries close to the surface, which cools them down. So if you're ever going on a country drive and see some kangaroos waving at you, that's probably just their evaporative air conditioning system to cool themselves down. When you said do they dig, they also climb. So these little marsupials can climb up to 1.5 metres, about the size of the Melaleuca bush behind me, to also forage for things, even including bird eggs.
Quite a few people want to know how big they grow.
Well, this is about the size that they grow to. They are one of Australia's smallest macropod species, and yeah, this is as big as they're going to get. So I kind of say like they're like a little teddy bear version of a big kangaroo. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks for all your questions at home. Tune in on Wednesday to have a chat to our friends up at Monarto Zoo, where you had the chance to learn about some beautiful animals that we should be celebrating this Easter as well. Thank you so much from all of the staff and volunteers here at your Adelaide Zoo. Goodbye for now.